Children, in the previous class, we have already understood two types of budget deficits. One was revenue deficit. I told you that revenue deficit basically implies the excess of revenue expenditure over the revenue receipts, which implies that the government's routine incomes are not able to meet its routine expenditure. Therefore, this is the amount which the government has to compulsorily finance through its capital receipts. That means either through borrowings or by selling of its assets. Similarly, I also told you about the second kind of deficit, which is the most important one among all, that is fiscal deficit. And I did a detailed analysis with you in the last class, wherein I told you that fiscal deficit is equal to borrowings of the government plus the budget deficit. Now, normally the budget deficit is financed through printing of new currency notes. And that is the last resort the government uses. Unless and until the government doesn't have any other option, the government doesn't go for printing of new currency. Therefore, most of the times the fiscal deficit is financed through borrowings. Therefore, most of the times fiscal deficit is equal to borrowings. However, remember that it is not the rule of thumb. It doesn't happen always that fiscal deficit will be equal to borrowings. No. Fiscal deficit is actually equal to borrowings plus budget deficit. That means deficit financing. But because the government doesn't resort to deficit financing often, that is why mostly fiscal deficit is equal to borrowings. मैंने एक और बात भी आप लोगों को बताई थी. Fiscal deficit is equal to revenue deficit plus capital expenditure minus capital receipts except borrowings. That means even if the revenue deficit is zero, fiscal deficit can still be there in the government budget, provided the capital expenditure of the government exceeds its non-debt capital receipts. So these two things I have already told you in the last class. The third thing, the third kind of deficit which we are required to do today, this is called as primary deficit. Now, what is primary deficit? Primary deficit basically implies the excess of fiscal deficit over the interest payments. Yani primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus the interest payments. Now you may ask, what is interest payments, sir? The government has been borrowing from other sources from a lot of period, for a lot of long. So if the government is preparing the budget for the next year, the government will have to make interest payments on the loans taken previously. जो गवर्नमेंट ने पहले लोन्स लिए हुए हैं, उनके ऊपर गवर्नमेंट को इंटरेस्ट पे करना है, right? Fiscal deficit primarily implies the borrowings of the country, borrowings of the government, I'm sorry. From the borrowings, if we are subtracting interest payments, it signifies that what amount of money the government is required to borrow for the purposes other than interest payment. एक एग्जाम्पल कंसिडर करते हैं. मान लेते हैं गवर्नमेंट के बजट में फिस्कल डेफिसिट है 10,000 करोड़ रुपीस. गवर्नमेंट के बजट में फिस्कल डेफिसिट 10,000 करोड़ रुपए का है, जिसका मतलब हुआ कि गवर्नमेंट को 10,000 करोड़ रुपए या तो बोरोइंग्स के थ्रू फाइनेंस कराने हैं या फिर प्रिंटिंग ऑफ न्यू करेंसी. नाउ इमेजिन करते हैं कि गवर्नमेंट सारा का सारा जो फिस्कल डेफिसिट है, इट गेट्स इट फाइनेंस थ्रू बोरोइंग्स, यानी प्रिंटिंग ऑफ न्यू करेंसी इज नॉट देयर and all 10,000 rupees, 10,000 crore rupees is raised through borrowings only. right? So fiscal deficit, which is being financed by borrowings, is 10,000 crores. When we analyze the budget further, we found that गवर्नमेंट को पुराने लिए हुए लोन्स के ऊपर इस साल 8,000 करोड़ रुपए का इंटरेस्ट पे करना. Government is required to make a payment of 8,000 crores as interest on the loans taken previously. What does it imply? गवर्नमेंट को 10,000 करोड़ रुपए बोरो करने पड़ रहे हैं और इस 10,000 करोड़ में से 8,000 करोड़ तो सिर्फ इसलिए बोरो करने पड़ रहे हैं क्योंकि पिछले लोन्स के ऊपर इंटरेस्ट चुकाना है. यानी इंटरेस्ट के अलावा बाकी पर्पसेस के लिए गवर्नमेंट को कितना पैसा बोरो करना पड़ रहा है? The total borrowing is 10,000, out of which 8,000 is being borrowed for the purpose of making interest payment. So what is the amount the government is required to borrow for the purposes other than interest payment? Automatically your answer would be 2,000 crores. This 2,000 crores is nothing but primary deficit. Primary deficit basically signifies, क्या बताता है? It signifies the amount the government is required to borrow for the purposes other than interest payments. इंटरेस्ट पेमेंट के अलावा बाकी पर्पसेस के लिए गवर्नमेंट को कितना पैसा बोरो करना पड़ रहा है, that is basically what is told to us by primary deficit. So in the example which I took, the government is required to borrow 2,000 crore rupees for the purposes other than interest payment, though the total borrowings of the government is 10,000 crore. लेकिन इस 10,000 करोड़ में से 8,000 करोड़ तो गवर्नमेंट सिर्फ इंटरेस्ट पे करने के लिए बोरो करती है. इंटरेस्ट के अलावा बाकी पर्पसेस के लिए गवर्नमेंट इज रिक्वायर्ड टू बोरो 2,000 करोड़ एंड दिस इज प्राइमरी डेफिसिट. अब अगर गवर्नमेंट की बजट में प्राइमरी डेफिसिट इज लो, लेट्स से जीरो, अगर गवर्नमेंट की बजट में प्राइमरी डेफिसिट जीरो या फिर क्लोज टू जीरो है तो इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब ये है कि गवर्नमेंट को अपने करंट बजट में जितना भी बोरो करना पड़ रहा है वो सिर्फ इसलिए बोरो करना पड़ रहा है कि पहले लोन्स लिए हुए हैं उनके ऊपर इंटरेस्ट पे करना है. अदरवाइज इंटरेस्ट के अलावा बाकी जितना खर्चा है गवर्नमेंट का, गवर्नमेंट इज एबल टू मैनेज इन इट्स ओन रिसीट्स. दिस इज अ symbol of fiscal discipline. This signifies, this tells that government is having a fiscal discipline in its budget. Government is spending the money in a very disciplined manner. And that is the reason the government is not required to borrow for purposes other than interest payment. Whatever the government is borrowing, it is borrowing mainly or exclusively for the purpose of making interest payment. Interest के अलावा बाकी पर्पसेस के लिए गवर्नमेंट को पैसे बोरो करने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ रही है. दिस इज व्हाट अ लो और अ जीरो प्राइमरी डेफिसिट सिग्निफाइज. लेकिन अगर गवर्नमेंट के बजट में प्राइमरी डेफिसिट बहुत ज्यादा है एंड इट इज ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल टू बोरोइंग्स, इसका मतलब क्या है? गवर्नमेंट बोरो कर रही है इंटरेस्ट के लिए नहीं बल्कि बाकी पर्पसेस के लिए. So that is a sign of indiscipline in the government's budget. Government is spending the money recklessly, carelessly, and the government is spending the money much more than its capacity. So automatically, that is a sign of fiscal indiscipline in the government budget. I hope you all have been able to understand this. Now, on this topic, MCQs ही आएंगे आपको पता है. MCQs formula based, component based, missing figure based पूछे जा सकते हैं. At the same time, some numerical figures could be given to you in the question, and you could be asked to calculate either of the three deficits. Right? आपसे deficits calculate करने के लिए बोला जा सकता है. For example, let us take a question in order to understand this. एक question लेते हैं. समझने के लिए इसको okay, let us suppose we are given tax revenue is 1,000. These all figures are rupees in crores, let's say. Non-tax revenue is 150. Net borrowings of government $780. This investment proceeds. You understand, if it is a disinvestment proceed, it is a capital receipt of the government. Similarly, net borrowings are also capital receipts of the government. Revenue expenditure, 1500, and capital expenditure, 480. Let us suppose interest payments are also given to us, and let's say the amount is 200. Right? Now you have been asked to calculate all three types of deficits. आपसे तीनों तरह के deficits निकालने के लिए बोला है. Now remember, सबसे पहले revenue deficit. Revenue deficit is revenue expenditure minus revenue receipts. You people are aware that revenue receipts are the sum total of tax revenue and non-tax revenue. So it is revenue expenditure minus tax revenue plus non-tax revenue. Revenue expenditure is 1,500, tax revenue is 1,000, and non-tax revenue is 150. So my answer is 350 crores. That is revenue deficit, right? Similarly, fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is total budget expenditure minus total budget receipts except borrowings. Now, what is total budget expenditure? Revenue expenditure plus capital expenditure. 1500 plus 480 minus total budget receipts. Revenue receipts plus capital receipts. That comes out to how much? 1,000, 1,150, 1,200, 1,200 and 780. Okay, it is not that पूरा खर्चा पूरी receipts दे नहीं रखी है. It might be possible कि receipts और भी हों. चलिए एक बार कैलकुलेट करते हैं. 1200 और 780. Okay, so 1980 minus 780. Total budget receipts are revenue receipts plus capital receipts. Salary receipts हमने ऐड कर दिया यहाँ पर 1,000, 150, 780 and 50 except borrowings. उसमें से borrowings minus कर दिया. So I get 1980 minus 1980 plus 780. My answer is 780, which basically shows that fiscal deficit in this case are equal to borrowings. I told you fiscal deficit is generally equal to borrowings. But again, remember that is not a rule of thumb that always fiscal deficit would be equal to borrowings. No. So we have to apply the formula. मैं सिर्फ इतना, अगर मेरे को information पूरी नहीं दे रखी होती, तो मैं सीधा लिख देता that fiscal deficit is generally equal to borrowing. So 780 is fiscal deficit. But when the information is provided to me, I will calculate it even if it turns out to be equal to borrowings. Finally, primary deficit is equal to fiscal deficit minus interest payments. So it will be 780 minus 200. That gives me 580 crores. Children, I hope that this numerical is clear to you. Likewise, in your textbook, there are more questions. So what you can do is you can practice those numericals, do them in your notebook and send them to me. I'll check them. All right. That is about the three types of budget deficits that might be there in the government budget. Input-based MCQs, input-based numerical type questions in the form of MCQs might come in your exam, right? Now let me proceed further and talk about the last topic in government budget. गवर्नमेंट बजट के आखिरी टॉपिक की बात करते हैं, and that is extremely important from examination point of view. Objectives of government budget. We have talked about the budget through and through. I told you what is government budget. I told you what are the components of government budget. We have done the entire detail of the components wherein I told you revenue receipts, capital receipts, revenue expenditure, capital expenditure, and further their types. We now need to talk about that. Why does the government prepare budget? What is the objective? What is the rationale, reason behind preparation of budget by the government? So there are a number of objectives of government budget. We'll be talking about the main ones. The very first objective is reallocation of resources. You must be remembering when you were in class 11th, आपने chapter number 1 of जब introduction of the economics उसमें topic पढ़ा होगा allocation. What to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. हर economy के पास resources limited होते हैं, scarce होते हैं, जरूरतें बहुत ज्यादा होती हैं, and therefore economy has to decide that whatever limited resources it is available with, how should it allocate the resources? What is to be produced? Capital consumer combination. How it is to be produced, labor intensive techniques or capital intensive, and for whom it is produced. Now, if there is no government budget, अगर गवर्नमेंट का इंटरवेंशन इकोनॉमिक फंक्शनिंग में नहीं है, अगर गवर्नमेंट बजटिंग नहीं करती, गवर्नमेंट बजट नहीं बनाती, then all the resources would be at the disposal of the private sector, right? Private sector will decide what is to be produced, how it is to be produced, for whom it is to be produced, and they would be taking all these decisions for the purpose of profit maximization. Private sector है, काम ही उनका profit maximize करना है, तो they would be doing it exclusively for profit maximization, right? However, in that case, the welfare objective would be completely ignored. जो welfare objective है government का, वो पूरी तरह से ignore हो जाएगा. That is why the government intervenes and prepares the budget so that the government can also decide what is to be produced, how it is to be produced, for whom it is to be produced. The government can reallocate the resources. The government can decide how to utilize the available resources so that a balance can be maintained between profit and welfare objective. We are not saying that in a country only welfare is needed. Profit is equally needed. अगर हम एक mixed economic system follow कर रहे हैं तो both the things are necessary. So we need to remember, government intervene करती है ताकि welfare ignore ना हो. Government इसलिए intervene करती है, इसलिए बजट बनाती है ताकि resources को reallocate किया जा सके, ताकि government decide कर सके what is to be produced, कैसे, किसके लिए, so that a balance can be maintained between profits and welfare. Right? So that is the first objective behind government's budget preparation. तो अगर government कहती है कि हम इस साल डिफेंस बजट को कट करके and we are increasing the health expenditure because these are the special times, तो हम इस साल डिफेंस पर कम खर्च करेंगे जैसा गवर्नमेंट ने इस साल अपनी बजट में किया. डिफेंस एक्सपेंडिचर को कट करके we will be increasing our health expenditure. What is this? This is done for the purpose of reallocation of resources. क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट को पता है कि इस टाइम लोगों का वेलफेयर किसमें ज्यादा है, अवेलेबिलिटी ऑफ हेल्थ फैसिलिटीज, राइट? अगर गवर्नमेंट कहती है कि इस साल हम इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, फॉर एग्जांपल रोड्स पर कम खर्च करेंगे एंड वी विल बी स्पेंडिंग मोर ऑन एजुकेशन, व्हाट इज दिस? दिस इज फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ रीएलोकेशन। अगर गवर्नमेंट कहती है कि इस साल हम फला सब्सिडी काटकर उस प्रोडक्ट पर सब्सिडी दे रहे हैं, सो व्हेनेवर द गवर्नमेंट डज दिस, गवर्नमेंट ट्राइज टू इंटरवीन एंड डिसाइड क्या बनाना है, कैसे बनाना है, किसके लिए बनाना है, क्या बने कंट्री में, right? According to the welfare requirements of the people, then the government is trying to achieve the objective of reallocation of resources. ऐसे ही क्वेश्चन पेपर में पूछे जाते हैं। आपको एक स्टेटमेंट दी जाएगी, फॉर एग्जांपल a case in 2021 budget the government decided to cut off the defense expenditure and increase the health expenditure so that the better infrastructure could be made available for corona patients and all. Now, which objective the government is trying to achieve? You will write out of the 4-5 options, whatever would be given, you will be choosing reallocation of resources, right? So that is what we mean by reallocation of resources. हमारा दूसरा ऑब्जेक्टिव रहेगा redistribution of income. The second objective of government budget is redistribution of income. इसको मैं बहुत आसान शब्दों में कहूं तो I'll be saying reduction in inequalities of income, reducing the gap between the rich and the poor. गवर्नमेंट के बजट का एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ऑब्जेक्टिव है to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Now, how does the government do that? गवर्नमेंट अपने बजट में टैक्सेशन डिसाइड करती है, और आपको मालूम है, अच्छा, टैक्स सिस्टम 3 तरह का होता है। वन इज प्रोग्रेसिव, शायद मैंने पहले भी बताया था आपको ये, प्रोपोर्शनल एंड रिग्रेसिव। प्रोग्रेसिव का मतलब एज द इनकम राइजेस द टैक्स रेट आल्सो राइजेस। प्रोपोर्शनल का मतलब equal percentage of tax imposed on everyone. और regressive का मतलब as the income rises, the percentage of income to be paid as tax goes down. यानी poor have to pay a higher proportion of their income as tax, and rich have to pay a lower proportion of income as their tax. Right? इसका मतलब ये मत समझिएगा गरीब ज्यादा टैक्स दे रहा और अमीर कम। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक बंदे की इनकम 1000 रुपए पर मंथ है, एक की इनकम 1 लाख रुपए पर मंथ है। 1000 रुपए वाले पर गवर्नमेंट ने 10% टैक्स लगाया और 1 लाख वाले पर 5% टैक्स लगाया, तो जिसकी इनकम 1000 है, he is paying 100 rupees, and the one who has an income of 1 lakh, 5% of 1 lakh is 5000. ये अभी भी अमीर ज्यादा कर रहा है, लेकिन he is paying a smaller proportion of his income as tax. This is regressive. Regressive taxation makes rich richer and poor poorer. And that is why this kind of taxation system is usually not followed across the world. In our country, we have a progressive taxation system. For example, 2.5 लाख तक इनकम है तो कोई टैक्स नहीं लगेगा, 2.5 लाख से 5 लाख तक इनकम तो 5% टैक्स लगेगा, 5 से 10 लाख है तो 20% लगेगा, 10 लाख से ऊपर है तो 30% लगेगा। This is progressive taxation, which implies that the tax liability increases quickly as compared to increase in the income, right? जिस रेट से इनकम बढ़ती है उससे ज्यादा रेट से आपकी टैक्स लायबिलिटी बढ़ती है, right? So that the rich end up paying more taxes and no tax or very less tax is collected from the poorer or lower income group section of the society. Why will the government do that? Government would be acting more as a Robin Hood, taking away the income from the rich, अमीरों से income लेकर के, and spending that income on the poor. Now, let us suppose the gap between rich and poor is this much. When the government takes high taxes from the rich, their income level comes down. Whatever the government has collected from here, the government spends it on the upliftment of the poor. Their income goes up, and the gap between the rich and poor gets narrowed down. तो जब भी गवर्नमेंट ऐसा कहती है that we are planning to increase the corporate profit tax, we are planning to introduce a new tax slab, जिन लोगों की इनकम 1 करोड़ से ऊपर है they will end up paying 40% of their income as tax, या फिर वी आर प्लानिंग कि हम कॉर्पोरेट प्रॉफिट टैक्स का रेट 35% की बजाय 45% कर, तो गवर्नमेंट कौन सा ऑब्जेक्टिव अचीव करना चाह रही है? Redistribution of. If the government says that we are planning to give, let's say, किसान सम्मान निधि, हम गरीब किसानों को, जो छोटे मार्जिनल फार्मर्स हैं जिनके पास 1 हेक्टेयर लैंड से कम ओनरशिप है, उनको हम हर महीने 2000 रुपए का किसान सम्मान निधि देंगे, so that they can buy the required input and cultivate their land. Which objective the government is trying to achieve? Again, redistribution. जब गवर्नमेंट अमीरों पर ज्यादा टैक्स लगा रही है या लग्जरी कमोडिटीज पर ज्यादा टैक्स लगा रही है और गरीबों को सब्सिडीज दे रही है या फिर नेसेसिटीज के ऊपर सब्सिडीज प्रोवाइड कर रही है, which objective the government is trying to achieve? Redistribution of income. Is that clear to all of you or not? I hope it is clear. I forgot that this is recording. Third, economic stability. Very important objective of government budget, economic stability. And this I have explained in the previous sessions to you. I'll re-explain that. मैंने लास्ट क्लास में, लास्ट सेशन में आपको बताया था कि गवर्नमेंट बजट को एक टूल की तरह इस्तेमाल करती है इन ऑर्डर टू अटेन इकोनॉमिक स्टेबिलिटी इन द आउटकम. अगर कंट्री में इन्फ्लेशनरी सिचुएशंस है, महंगाई बहुत ज्यादा है, पीपल हैव टू मच मनी इन देयर हैंड्स, गुड्स की अवेलेबिलिटी बहुत कम है, तो गवर्नमेंट विल बी यूजिंग बजट एंड विल बी प्रिपेयरिंग अ सरप्लस. सरप्लस बजट का मतलब गवर्नमेंट हमसे टैक्स लेगी ज्यादा और खर्च करेगी कम. दिस विल बी रिड्यूसिंग द परचेजिंग पावर फ्रॉम द हैंड्स ऑफ द पीपल. जो पैसा अभी लोगों के पास है, which is becoming the source of purchasing, the government will be taking away that money from the people, right? And will not be bringing it to the circulation. Why? Because the government is ending up spending less. As a result of that, what is going to happen? The aggregate demand in the economy would go down. And as the demand will fall, automatically stability would be achieved, inflation would be controlled. Likewise, if there is, depression, recession in the economy is suffering from unemployment. Why? The people are not demanding. Goods तो है economy के अंदर, लेकिन demand नहीं है. As a result, producers are not interested in production. People are losing their jobs. Under such circumstances, the government will prepare a deficit budget. Government will be reducing the quantum of taxes. As a result, the people will be left with more purchasing power in their hands. With more purchasing power, yes. So I was saying that in such cases, the government will end up, preparing a deficit budget. In such a case, government will be imposing lesser taxes on the people. People will be available with more purchasing power. More purchasing power will imply that the people will be demanding more. When the demand would increase, automatically what is going to happen? The producers will be interested in producing more, employment level in the country would rise. And lastly is economic growth. Through budget, the government will be spending the money directly, indirectly on such activities that would help the government in increasing the GDP of the country. So when the government builds roads, it encourages the private sector to make more investments. As a result of that, the GDP of the country rises. When the government itself establishes new units, buys machineries, equipment for PSUs, it increases the productive capacity, causes economic growth. All these are various objectives for which the government prepares. right? Apart from that, there could be numerous other objectives, but primarily, these are the objectives for which the government prepares. I hope that this topic is clear to each one of you. You just go through this, listen to this repetitively. In case there are any doubts, I'll be taking your doubts in the live session when we be meeting. So that is all for this session, and I'll be seeing you live on Tuesday. All right. Bye, everyone, for the time. Bye.